What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Alright, this is going to be a quick and simple, sweet one. So in today's ever-evolving struggle of me learning how to screen print things, it has occurred to me that I need a washout tub in my dark room, because I have yet to get a design to expose properly on any screens yet. I've tried probably 5 times, and every single time it has failed. So what I've been doing is I've been using a little LED lamp, UV lamp, to expose my image onto the screen, but then I would take it out of my dark room, out into the sunlight, out into the driveway to try and wash it out. Yeah, I'll let that one sink in. So, needless to say, I haven't had any successful transfers yet. So hopefully I will be remedying that problem today by getting myself a little DIY washout bin that I picked up all the parts down at a local Lowe's nearby for the total of about 115 bucks or so for all the parts, little parts and pieces. Kind of expensive, but a lot cheaper than all those big stainless steel standalone tubs that I've seen online and everything that are anywhere from like $200 to $300. So maybe it'll be worthwhile. But anyway, enough of my rambling. So the parts in question and all the tub, I'll be doing just a quick little how-to or throw together of me putting that all together, so you guys can, if you're looking for something, a cheap alternative like this, when you're just starting out and you're not really sure you want to invest all the time and money for all the big fancy stuff, well, here's hopefully a viable option. Alright, so here's all the parts and bits and pieces, starting with the funniest and cheapest thing, I guess, is just a sprayer nozzle, so I can, you know, on off with the water and spray it off. Pretty self-explanatory. The next little thing that I got is, as you can probably sort of see, is just this little utility washout sink that normally you'll find in like your laundry room. Made of plastic, single little cheap little thing, not really too much to it, just 4 little legs, a couple of screws to hold it together, and there you go. So that'll be my washout tub, but I'll be throwing in this little piece of corrugated plastic, kind of like cardboard like you normally get, but what I'll be doing is I'll take in and putting it in here and then folding it right around the edges here to kind of give it a little bit of a backdrop, kind of like a splashboard that'll sit in here, and then my screen will basically just be sitting right here on a couple of hangers or hooks or whatever, however I figure it, and then I'll just spray it with the hose and let it wash out just like that. So that's pretty much all of those pieces, and then to keep it anchored in there, I just got some little 1/2-inch self tappers and some finish washers with neoprene so it doesn't leak water out through the edges too terribly bad. But that's pretty much the main bit of it. I grabbed some little 3M like door hook things, and hopefully these will be enough to just set the screen on the hooks and have it just sit up there without it falling apart or coming down too easily. But that's it. 115 bucks or so, and that'll give me my basic little washout basin or washout tub. There is a drain underneath it. I saw the guy, the video that I watched, he had put a garden hose hooked up to it so he could drain it out into like his yard. I'm just gonna put a 5-gallon bucket underneath the drain and let it drain into the 5-gallon bucket and carry that outside and dump it. Make it because I've already got the buckets, I don't need to buy a hose, which would have been another 30-40 bucks for a hose long enough to get out of my workshop here into the street. So that's my take on this, but let's go ahead and get this all put together then. All right, so building this thing, like all things around here at Immoderate, the very first step and the most important step, take your instructions, throw them away, because who needs instructions? Next step, a couple of tools I might need to get this all done. Tape measure and a Sharpie. I'm going to use the tape measure to measure the edge here, so I know about how long I need to place a couple of marks, so I know where to start my bends on the corrugated plastic sheet. And I'll just put a couple marks with a marker or the Sharpie there, so I know about where I need to start the bend to get the sides here into the tub. But that'll be later, because the third most important thing is, before you even try to get anything started, you got to grab yourself a cold one, crack her open, take a good swig, and then you're ready to go. All right, so putting the tub together, the very first thing is going to be flipping it over and getting these legs on it. Now, if you didn't get any legs with yours when you went down to your local hardware store, check in the box. The very first one I grabbed had no hardware with it. I had to pull another one out of a box to pull hardware from someone else that had already taken it. So they just kind of slide in here. You're supposed to use a hammer, something heavy I didn't bring, to really wedge these down in here. So I'll kind of just set them in there for the moment until I can go find something like that. But they've got little slots that they slide into. They're just pressure fitted. They don't really, there's no screws or anything to hold it together. So that's all there is to that. Let's go find a hammer, just so I don't have to hit it too hard, or I guess damage it. But and it looks like that's about it. Doesn't really sit completely flush down, but that ain't coming back out. Of course, I imagine you probably don't want to hit it too hard. You risk cracking the bottom, and then you have a bigger problem on your hands. So now that we got those in, let's flip this guy. Suppose I'll put the feet on it first. So it has 4 little feet that came with it, a couple little bolts to hold them in there. These are used for getting it level on the ground. I really am not all that worried about it. They are adjustable. Because like I said, they're just a couple of bolts, or 1 bolt on each, to level it out. There we go. You just kind of sit on there, and you run your bolt through here. Don't want to drop them and lose them like I just did, because now you'll have 1 less foot somewhere. But don't worry about that later. So, foot, bolt, slide her in there and feed the nut on. And there you go. Repeat that for each corner. There we go. 4 feet on. Now I'm gonna flip it over. Now that that's done, I got myself a nice little workbench area that I can make and mark all the spots that I need on this corrugated plastic. And I kind of think I should have got a bigger piece, but we'll make do with what we got. My car is rather small, and I did not have room for the big giant 8-foot long sheet that they had at the store that was also like 3 times more expensive, but that's that. So we're in the halfway mark, so that means it's time for beer break. So make sure to grab your beer. If you don't have any koozies, you need your koozies. It'd be getting hot out here these days. Yep. All right. So numbers we're looking for, we're going to go to the inside of the curve. To the inside of the curve, and that's looking like about 21.5 inches. So what I'm going to try and do is find the middle point of this here sheet, make a mark, which looks like it's 30 inches. So that'll be, if I can do math, 15 inches to the center. I'll make a little mark. All right, and then I said 21.5 inches, I do believe. If I'm gonna check it because I don't remember. Little goldfish brain. All right, so 21.5 inches. Again, if I can do math, that's gonna be well, let's say 10 3/4 inches. So I'll line up 10 3/4 inch on that center mark there that I made at the middle of the sheet. Put a little dot at one end of the tape, another dot at the 21.5, and that'll be spots that I have to bend to get those corners. I'll do the same on the other end. So there's my 3 dots. So the hard part with folding this stuff is it kind of just wants to crease wherever it wants to. So I saw a trick. Somebody used like a pizza cutter to kind of indent it a little bit, to kind of persuade it a little bit. I didn't think to bring one with me today, although pizza does sound like a really good idea today. So I'm gonna try my hardest to just work my way down and get it as close as I can. Might even take my little razor blade here on the back side of it and just kind of push down on it in a couple of spots to try and help get it started. Not the best in the world, but doesn't take much. I will go ahead and cut on the top half so I can take and try to fold a third time down to give it like a U shape, so it's fully enclosed to an extent. I suppose I'll try and just do it to match with the rest of this. So we had about a 4 1/4 from the edge to that first fold. So I'll go ahead and just mark that down, 4 1/4. And 4 1/4. Then go ahead and cut along the line. Just like that. And like this. Now when cutting, through stuff with the razor blade, always make sure to have your fingers right directly underneath where your blade is at, so that you have to have a good excuse to miss work on the next Monday when you get a doctor's note down at the ER for slicing through your finger. I'm kidding. Don't do that. That's bad. Don't do that. Alright, so now we got our little flappers in our corner. This one's going to be extremely difficult to bend because now I don't have the added bonus of the corrugated channels, so it's really not going to want to crease and bend wherever I want it to. I think again I'll try and just use the edge of my razor blade to give it a little bit of a persuasion line to bend on. It seems to look alright. Let's see if that helps any. That helps a little bit. Not the greatest. There we go. Alright. Go. We'll take that, and we'll fold our corners back in. And then that'll be my tub. Just about like that. Alright guys, so here you go to show you the final product, or the finished product. Once I got all the hooks stuck on there, hopefully they're not going to wash away with the water, but here you go. So you've got your $60 or $100 utility sink all put together. A little $11 worth of corrugated plastic, a couple of 3M hooks, and this will be my $100 washout tub. We'll hit it with the hose, wash it out, drain it all into like a 5-gallon bucket, just let it sit underneath. Maybe if it becomes more of a permanent structure, then I'll invest in a little garden hose or something, or some sort of drain system for getting those chemicals out when I'm done washing. But at the very end of the day, this is my immoderate way of doing my short little how-to video on making a startup screen print washout tub. Thank you guys for watching. If you like any of the content or everything you seen here today, go ahead and hit that thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so I can keep you up to date when new videos come out. It's every 2 weeks on Fridays is when I generally do posts, unless work gets in the way. But we'll see you on the next one. Peace.